There's a lot of reasons that board game conventions are so popular. It's an entire weekend of playing games with old friends, playtesting new inventions, and stocking up on some good merch. The largest conventions worldwide bring in 90 to 180,000 attendees, all looking to enjoy that sea that is the convention center, and oftentimes a whole city dedicated to loving board games for the weekend. And I was so excited to experience this myself when I attended my first Gen Con in 2023. And I opted to pick up my badge at will call. One less thing to pack, right? I landed in Indy, checked into the hotel, Ubered to the convention center, and shoot, why am I so far? That was like a 15-minute Uber. But it's fine, I guess. I walked through the doors, saw all the cosplay and game signage, and then, oh my God. Is that a line wrapped around this building? I am definitely gonna miss my first session. These mixed feelings of excitement and overwhelm kind of continued for me throughout the whole weekend. Like, I finally got my badge, and then I woke up the next day on Friday pretty excited to take on the exhibit hall, only to get there an hour after it opened to find it shoulder-to-shoulder traffic. I quite literally could not see more than a few inches in front of me. So I tried to take a break by popping into a session that I found that was free and not full, but I did not pre-register for it, so I couldn't get in. I realized very quickly that cons are not a wing it type of event. To do it right takes prep. And when you're spending money and taking time, you should probably want to do it right. Since my first Gen Con experience, which even with the blunders ended up being a great time, my team and I have perfected our con strategy. So I want to give you that list of tips that I wish that I had the first time, especially if you are somebody who's a game creator and you're looking to get your game seen. Maybe you're playtesting, exhibiting, or going to the demo hall. So from things like planning ahead to packing smart, or setting objectives and creating a booth that draws people in, this list breaks down everything you need to know to get the most out of your convention experience. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you a free digital copy of our book, Crowdfunded, which covers every step of the journey from idea to hitting launch. Let's talk first about everything you should do before you even get there. Planning ahead. Channel the energy of a bride booking her dream wedding venue, or a college girl trying to get those Taylor Swift tickets. Seriously, so many tiny little things that you can do before you get there can make a huge difference in your experience. Things like being walking distance to the convention center from your hotel, or having your badge mailed to you so that's one less chore you have to do when you get there, or getting contact information for that first booth you want to go to and setting up a meeting. Every con has different deadlines, but they can be 4, 6, 12 months out. So waiting until you're ready might put you on a year delay to showcase your stuff. And remember to pack like a pro. Like, bring your comfortable shoes. I always recommend 2 pairs because you can swap them out and not get blisters. Bring snacks and a refillable water bottle. I love a convention hot dog just as much as the next person. Honestly, maybe a little bit more. But by day 3, you're gonna be craving something else. And sometimes lines for restaurants around the convention center can be crazy, especially during designated breaks or common off times. And you're gonna wanna have a sturdy bag, something that's easy to keep control of in a crowded convention hall. And don't forget your arsenal, aka your marketing materials, but I'll talk more about that later. You've planned ahead and packed like a pro, but it's also important to set some objectives. Are you here to mainly playtest, to network with publishers? Or are you just trying to learn from some industry veterans? Having clear goals will help you navigate the chaos and make the most of your time. Okay, we've talked prep, and depending on your objectives, you might be boothing. So let's talk about bringing your booth to life. You secured a booth. Heck yeah, it's time to transform that 10 by 10 piece of concrete into something immersive and exciting. There are 5 things that I like to keep in mind when bringing a booth to life. The first is eye-catching design. Unlike tech or other industry conferences, once I went to an appliance conference and everything looked a little drab. It's easier to stand out in those types of places, but at board game conventions, everything is very cool, visual, eye-catching art. It's hard to look unique, so you have to think critically about how your booth might stand out against those around it. And there are a few ways I like to do that. You can start by adding some dynamic height to your booth to stand out from your neighbors. Also, sometimes staying simple is better. A booth that is super visually chaotic with a lot going on might not hold somebody's eyes as long as something that is clear, crisp, and easy to look at. And don't ball out for no reason. It can be so easy for booths to become a money pit. Think about what you really need functionally and visually. Number 2, have some interactive elements. People don't want to look at fun, they want to have fun. Set up a demo table, have components people can hold. Consider setting up a visual that has the game trailer playing. Our friends at Let's Roll Plus gutted this clock tower and turned it into an interactive dice tower for anyone visiting their booth. Number 3, have an open layout. Arrange your space to be welcoming, not a labyrinth. Clear pathways are key. The more inviting, the more people will stop. If it doesn't look like there's space for me, I'm not gonna try and see if there's space for me. Number 4, comfort is key. Remember that carpet add-on edition when you were selecting your booth furniture? Trust me, by day 2, when the concrete is giving you shin splints, you're gonna wish you went for it. Keep your booth stocked with water, snacks, or other creature comforts. And don't ask my coworkers about the first con we did, because I did make them do it without the carpet, and I don't want to talk about it. And number 5, consistent branding. Make sure all your visuals, including posters, backgrounds, table covers, all match and look cohesive. They should have a consistent theme and color scheme that fits your game's vibe. Okay, let's talk marketing materials, because even if you aren't boothing, you might still be there to market your game. There are things like business cards and flyers. Have things that are easily handoutable and have your contact information and information about your game. These should be skimmable. I can learn about you and what you're pitching me in a glance. You also could consider having some promotional items. These are small giveaways like pins and stickers or cards with your board game's art. If you're collecting emails, this could be a great incentive. And having some kind of printed or digital sign-up sheet is also key. That way people can join your mailing list and you can figure out how to stay in touch with them once the con is over. Having a QR code on the promotional materials you hand out can also help lead people to this sign-up. Remember that gutted clock turned dice tower I mentioned above? To make this element even more interactive, anyone who rolled that die successfully through it got a free Let's Roll Press pin. Okay, so you're prepped. Maybe you're boothing, maybe you're just walking around, but you have your plan of attack ready? Or do you? You gotta have your elevator pitch. Prepare a concise and engaging pitch that highlights all the unique attributes and key features of your game. Cons aren't the place to ramble, stumble, or monopolize too much of people's time. There is so much going on. Sometimes you only have a short window to tell us about what makes your game special. And there's things you can do ahead of time to make that go better at the con. Like developing a brief demo outline so you can show people how things work as efficiently as possible. Keep it short and sweet. Focus on driving engagement, not necessarily covering every single aspect. And if you do have the space and time to run more in-depth play, consider doing group demos. This will maximize the number of people who can experience your game. And make sure you're making the most of that playtesting and demoing while you're there. You want to gather some intel. Prepare your arsenal. Whether you're boothing, playtesting, or walking around, you do not want to find yourself a few blocks from the convention center at a Staples print center cursing the copy machine. You can have things ready ahead of time that will help you avoid that nightmare, like printing simple feedback forms so that people can fill them out as they play your game, and having prototype components that are as close to the final version as possible, and having clear objectives for what you want to test, like a certain mechanic you might want to refine. And make sure you're observing and being adaptable when playtesting. It's important to let players experience the game naturally, but be available in case people get stuck. And gather that intel. Once they're wrapping up, try to engage them in a discussion and see what went well and what didn't. And if you're interested more in the prototyping process, I actually have a whole video on how to design a board game from A to Z where I dive into that, and I've linked it below. Okay, so it's finally Sunday or Monday. You're flying back. You're definitely not getting stuck at the Indianapolis airport for 12 hours, getting on a plane, off a plane, on a plane, off a plane, canceled, and then rerouted. That's not gonna happen to you. I'm channeling good energy. But your work still isn't over, even if your flight goes smooth. In fact, the important work is just getting started. It's time to debrief. Once you've made it home, taken a solid nap, or like 5, you gotta capitalize on all that momentum you gained from attending. Start with follow-up. Send personalized thank yous, notes, memories to any contacts that you made while you were there. And then go to some social media shoutouts. Thank your supporters and share highlights from the weekend. And then back to your drawing board to analyze and implement that feedback you got from pitching and playtesting. Pour over those notes. What worked? What didn't? Conventions definitely are, in a way, big parties to play board games with your friends. But they're not just big parties where you play board games with your friends. They're opportunities to see how the world responds to your game, how you can make it even better, and how you can get it in the hands of the right audience. So whether you're headed to Gen Con, PAX Unplugged, Origins, or Essen, I hope you feel a little more prepared, and I hope I see you there. And as promised, I linked a digital copy of our book crowdfunded below, where you can learn more about the entire crowdfunding process from idea to hitting launch.